to go
Mm.
supervise students at the setting, the hospital setting.
Mm.
But if you ask hours, say we calculate by credit hours.
Mm.
When I was joining the institution last year, we were doing 9 credit hours per person. As we
Mm.
speak, we're doing 10. And this time that I had this small snap, I was doing 10 to 12 because I was managing so many things at the same time.
Mm. You see, I'm asking that because at a certain point, there's a college I used to teach. So when we got in, we were given an appointment letter and you were told now you are full-time lecturers. Huh? Because you are full-time lecturers, you have to work the usual 45 hours. Huh? Everybody's employed to work 45 hours per week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you are you have this contract now, it becomes tricky for the lecturers or for trainers to count these 45 hours because we had do we count the hours you are in class or do we count the hours? Because for administrative staff, we count the 45 hours. We'll count Monday to Friday. They are coming in for 8 hours. And then Saturday they do 5 hours, which is 45 hours, a half a day Saturday. So in that case, it's easier for them to count 45 hours. Now, when it comes to training staff, sometimes you have a lesson, then let's say you have two running lesson, then the next lesson you are free. You are not
Mm-hmm.
free, you are in school. You are in school environment. So ultimately, the assumption for administrative staff that you are free that lesson. But now you have students who are coming to do consultation. That's the time you're supposed to mark the script. So you'll find that they want to jump the 45 hours to be on the timetable so that you are in class for 45 hours. But
Mm-hmm.
realistically, if you are in classes for 45 hours, then when do students come to do consultation? When do you go and
Mm-hmm.
assess students on attachment? If there are
Mm-hmm.
projects, when do you assess those projects or when do you assess students to do the project? So ultimately, if you count, you find that you are working more than 60 hours. Then by
Mm-hmm.
then, I would also carry script to mark at home. But now the problem is I'll carry, and because I've worked about 60 hours in a week, so now if I'm carrying this script to go and mark on Sunday I'm already exhausted. I will wake up in the morning, I go to church. The moment I come out from church, I can only sleep. So when I go
Mm-hmm.
back on Monday, I'll feel guilty. I
Mm-hmm.
carried the script, but I did not mark those scripts. Yes, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Until we had to engage the HR and say, now kindly assist us to clarify how do we count these 45 hours so that you are also not engaging us 70 hours and paying us for 45 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because in this scenario, you might find yourself, if you count realistically, you are working for 60, 70 hours, yet you are paid for 45 hours, which is not real. You will burn out. When you burn
Yeah.
out, the unfortunate thing with the HR, the way we know them, they'll tell you are the problem. Why didn't you tell us? So
Mm.
they'll make you feel guilty. Why didn't you tell them? And so the moment you highlight, then now they know, okay, we have to be. Or there could be other people who are also suffering and they cannot raise. But now the moment you raise up that issue, you'll find that now HR will now start looking at it. They start now, let's say, benchmark, let's compare, let's look at what other colleges are running, what other institutions are doing. So in that case, you'll come to realization that even your productivity will now start increasing because now you are able to concentrate, you are able to do that work so that you don't carry your work home.
Okay, Jotham, there's something interesting you've spoken about. Uh, Rose, I think you've picked. You need clarification on in regards to your contract. What are you supposed to? How many hours are you supposed to work? And with that, then all these other administrative tasks, where are they being put in that work schedule of yours? Thank you, Jotham, for that. Monira, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay.
How have you been the last 1 week?
Good. I'm okay.
Okay, I was asking just a simple question. When Monday is coming up, it's Sunday, the weekend has come up. Now, oh, Susan, I'm just doing a checkup on everybody, how they are doing before we start. So we've not started, you've not lost much. We just discussing about few issues here and there. Then we'll start today's presentation. Now, I was saying, with regards to your weekend has ended now, Monday is coming up like tomorrow. What comes to your mind?
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Because I am retired, kind of semi-retired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't work all 6 days. I work 3 days. So I'm not overwhelmed.
Oh, you're not overwhelmed. Thank you, Munira. Now, Nanis, tell us, when you remember Monday is coming up, what comes to your mind? And by the way, how have you been?
Yeah, thank you. I've been okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had a wonderful week.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly speaking,
Mm-hmm.
my Mondays, especially like the one that happened yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
I was looking forward to it.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the reason why,
Mm-hmm.
I happen to meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
After every 2 weeks, I usually have a group of totally new campers.
Oh,
And yeah, where I work. And then I have like 30 or to 60 young men and young ladies, like 30 men and 30 ladies that I usually mentor. And every time there's usually that excitement, like meeting again, because they go 2 weeks and then that's the boys, and then after 2 weeks the girls are here. So there's always that excitement meeting again, and for them telling me the stories, what has been happening in their lives and what God is doing. So for me, Mondays, like almost every other day, I actually enjoy what I'm doing.
oh.
Yesterday, actually, when I had a short training, and we were being asked the same question, like in a scale of 0 to 10, how we would rank our satisfaction at work. And actually, mine was at 9.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm
I
good.
know you're someone who invests a lot on your mental health. So
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
It's not several times.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, Susan, tell us, when you know Monday is coming up, what comes to your mind, Susan?
Yeah, good evening. Sorry for coming in late. Yeah, when I'm expecting Monday, it comes with mixed reactions.
Okay, why so?
Mixed reactions in the sense that I see now being in a school and the climate that has been there in schools recently. So once a weekend is gone, you just thank God that it's over, and then you don't know what the next Monday and the week is carrying. So you just look forward to it being positive, that by the end of the week, if all goes well, you really thank God. No, that anxiety, you don't really know what the children are planning or what they have in store. Otherwise, it's always my desire that when Monday comes, you just get excited. It's another week, and things are moving right. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Patrick, tell us, what is your relationship with Mondays? When the weekend is over, now you're anticipating a new work week. What comes to your mind?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry for joining late. For me, there is no difference between Monday, Sunday, when the week just continues.
Why?
Like for the last 2 weeks, I've been working almost every day. So I really, there's not really like a moment where, sickness knows no holiday. So you barely find yourself having like a consistent weekend. Then now you get into Monday and start the 8 to 5 for the week. For us, it's when the patient comes. So you find yourself waking up on a Sunday morning, preparing to go to hospital. Maybe you have a surgery or something. So there's no break normally, unless you put like clear boundaries with your employer or with the place where you're working. And in actual sense, you take the work as it comes. You can find you're free on a Monday.
Let me ask you, now that you've been working for 2 weeks consecutive,
yeah,
do you schedule recovery time?
So like I've actually been working for this first 14 days every day because from tomorrow till Sunday I'll be off work. It's something I had planned for, but there are sometimes, as you know, for a doctor you're working, like I work in a government hospital and then I do my own private work on the side.
That's why I've asked you, because I know a background story.
So the work on the side, you take it as it comes. You can't really schedule it. So the times when it's like, for lack of a better word, when it's a low season, then you rest more. Then when it's a high season, you just put on your working hat and push through.
What I'm asking about is not I need a full day. Yes, a full day might be good, but do you have time in between your work where you just say, no, I need to just catch a breath, have a break, reflect, analyze how I'm doing so far. It could be for 30 minutes, it could be for 1 hour. It's something I recommend for couples. Sometimes you just sit down, no phones, take a walk, and just check on how everybody is doing. Don't take fine for an answer. That's what I'm envisioning, because bearing in mind there are times you can work even 3 weeks consecutive and you're constantly stimulated. Now, when is the time you tell your brain, now you calm down, even if it's for 10 minutes? That's what I was envisioning. Anyway, think about it as we carry on.
Yes, I would say so. No, I have 3 dogs. So every morning I take them for a walk. So that's usually my release.
Okay.
And my wife and I also, I think 2 or 3 times in a week, go cycling. That's usually also our release.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you're good to go. Now, from me, finding out how everybody is doing. Now, before we start today's conversation, ask yourself these questions. You may not respond to me. I told you in my training you have a notebook or from on your side as we have these conversations. Ask yourself, if nobody expected anything from me today, how would I truly feel? Just write, respond somewhere. Then ask yourself these other questions. When was the last time I genuinely felt rested? Just me and resting. Then ask yourself, am I really surviving or thriving? And the last question is, what emotion have I been hiding? Is it resentment? Is it disappointment? Is it anger? Is it joy? Is it happiness? The emotion can be positive or it can be negative. Many people living with depression are not lying in beds all day. They are the very same people who are attending meetings, raising families, smiling with friends, leading teams, serving in church, and helping everyone else, while quietly falling apart inside. So, today is more of a reconnection session with yourself. What are you really truly feeling inside? And that's why I told you, just those, take a moment to write down your answers. If nobody expected anything from me today, how would I truly feel? And when was the last time I genuinely felt rested? Am I surviving or thriving? And then what emotions have I been hiding? Okay, we've done that, I believe. A response before I move on to the next slide? You are not yet? Let me ask, Susan, have you finished? Susan?
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not able to write because I'm driving. I am looking for somewhere I can back and then attend my lesson.
Okay, you can just take a screenshot. Once you've written down, once you come, you will take over. So allow me, guys, to proceed. Now, what are the learning objectives for today's session? You will be able to understand what high function depression looks like, recognize hidden warning signs, learn why successful people and high achieving people can also struggle with depression. Then discover practical strategies for healing, know when professional help is necessary, and develop your own wellness action plan, not a recovery plan. So, what is really high functioning depression?
Yes,
For me, I want to describe it because
yeah.
for you to be high functioning, for it to be high functioning depression, it has to involve a person. So it describes a person who continue working, raising families, meeting deadlines, achieving, doing all that, and also smiling while privately experiencing symptoms of depression. You know, people will tell you, oh, you're doing so well. That's a good one. Keep it up. But deep down, you ask yourself, am I really doing so well? You start feeling exhausted. Now, this is how high functioning depression looks like. Above the water, what people see is confidence, productivity, achievement, smiling, leadership, name it. But below the surface, there are moments of loneliness, there are moments of hopelessness, there are moments of emotional exhaustion, there are moments of self-doubt, self-criticism, there are moments when your cups feel empty. Now, success does not alienate you from being what? From being depressed. Now, why is high functioning depression very difficult to notice? Because people fear appearing weak. People fear disappointing others. There is the cultural expectations. There is the perfectionism. There is believing that asking for help is failure, and feeling guilty because others have it worse. So you invalidate your feelings. So I want to ask you today, what is that one thing that speaks to you? Is it fear of appearing weak? Is it fear of others? Is it cultural expectations? Is it perfectionism? Is it believing that asking for help is failure? Or is it feeling guilty? What do you feel that really connects with your situation? Let me start with Rose.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
What is it that I fear? Now, when you somehow you have decision that you feel like you cannot change, and a lot of times you find yourself. We talked about leaning away from rescuing and inclining towards the
Alafu
caring.
kama kesa
So for a long time,
kuna
I
vile
used
kiasi.
to rescue, and now
Oh,
when
sawa.
it comes to
Eh.
now is when I'm understanding about the difference between rescuing, caring, and all. But
Eh.
before, you see, I would give all in the rescuing, and it used to really drain me a lot. So I would wonder, because I've come
Eh.
through for you,
Oh.
would you really come through for me the same way I would come through for you? So I think for me, it's
Sawa sawa tuwekee mbele.
fear of having such high expectations,
Mm.
and then now what I get in return. Say I'm
Eh.
giving an 80 or a 90 to someone who sort of needs help. Then now when it is my turn, well, I give a 90, all I can give is a 50 or a 40, and maybe they could do better, or they just, that's all that they can give. That's I'm never able to know how to wrap my head around. So that I
Sawa.
avoid disappointment from others, especially when I do mention that maybe I have a need, or I'm struggling, or I'm mentally not okay and I need assistance. Issue for me is the disappointment for when I'm hoping that I can get something in the same measure that I put in, but you see now the others can't be able to give the same as I did, because of course they're not roles. And even though they're named roles, they will not do things as those have been doing. Even though now I know what I've been doing has been a bit huge, and I need to go back to the healthy source. The disappointment is what I fear most.
Oh, sawa
Okay.
sawa.
Thank you. Lillian, tell us.
Yeah. Oh.
Mine has cultural expectation to be strong. Like you're old enough to handle this, and people expect you to be strong. And it also now has a ripple effect of, because of that, you fear then disappointing others.
Sawa.
Yeah.
So the culture expects you to be strong because you're old enough
Sawa.
and you're not supposed to be vulnerable. So it continues spiraling down. Yes, nannies.
Sawa.
I feel that the thing that has affected me most of my life, and which I'm working on, is perfectionism.
Okay.
Yes, I always believe in doing the right thing, and there is no point of failure. So,
it's perfectionism combined with the fear of failure. You're not supposed to fail.
Yes, so that perfectionism, and most of the people, actually, my friends pointed out, like, you nannies, even we don't know. Actually, they were afraid I may never even get married because they thought I was looking for a perfect man in everything, So, so that is something I'm still working on, and I'm so happy, even with the trainings that I've been receiving on now, how to balance the whole thing. So that is something, and you see, even other people, like having been in leadership, also expecting the same from, the people that I'm supervising, which sometimes doesn't happen, and it has been affecting me. Like, why? I don't understand. Why don't you do this thing to the, to the expectation? So perfect. It needs to be perfect. So to other people and also to myself.
Okay. Munira, tell us something. Munira, are you here with us?
Yeah, it's for me, it's cultural expectations. You don't want to look weak or vulnerable. And yeah.
Okay. Yes, Munira said cultural expectations. Patrick, tell us something.
For me, I think it's fear of disappointing others. When we were having the discussion about boundaries, I realized that I think when we did the quiz, most of my scores were low because I find it very difficult to set the boundaries I need to, because I'm really trying to meet everyone's expectations around me. And that fear of disappointing others always, in fact, it's also a bit of perfectionism, because you always want to give people your best and achieve the goal that they set out, or you set out for them. It sometimes can weigh heavily on your psyche, because if you do, like I lost a patient on yesterday, and that fear of disappointing like even talking to the family members because I'm giving them disappointing news, it really can put you into a depressive kind of mood.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Yes, Susan, are you in a position to talk? Okay, Susan.
Yes. Mine is about perfectionism. Little did I know that kumbe this thing is pulling me down, because I've always wanted things to be right, just perfectly right. And I even wonder why people are not seeing what you're saying when you say this thing has to be done right. And you see, we are different in character. The perfectionist in me want things to be all right, good, perfect. And somebody else will be doing it in that manner. So you may end up probably doing it yourself, and you see down there you build resentments. Why is this person not seeing what I'm saying? But through these sessions I've been going through, I realize now that probably I've been actually the one pushing beyond what is not supposed to be. So
60% is also an achievement, Susan. It doesn't have to be 100%. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. So with people, Susan, there's something I'll add a little bit. With people, sometimes it's okay to have expectations of yourself, but having expectations of other people and you want them to do things perfectly may end up making you feeling disappointed all the time. Why am I saying this? Because you cannot control them. You cannot control their actions and their behaviors. Yes, Jotham, tell us something.
For me, things that have been affecting is being over-present. I feel that I should be there. Somebody has a problem, I must be there. I must be there in person. I can't be represented. So sometimes you find that you can't manage. So I can't manage to be there. So if I can't manage to be there, then I feel guilty. So I
Meaning asking for help to you is a problem.
And so anybody who asks for help, who has a problem, I feel I should be there. I should be the one standing with that person. And then forget that there's also another life I have to live. Yeah, so that is what I've been struggling with. But at least nowadays I can set a boundary and know if I cannot be there in person, I can send a representative.
And you're okay with what the representative
will do. Yes.
Okay. Now, what are the common symptoms that we pick with high-functioning individual? Now, with all these signals we have, you start feeling empty on the inside. I think we all can see that picture of this person. This is a person who, when they are alone, this is how they feel. The battery is low, they feel they are down, they feel things are going haywire. But now this person, when they are out there, they are very much functional. So you also feel persistent sadness. If you start feeling irritable, if you start feeling, yes, you're doing things, yes, things are moving, but you're not finding any joy for those things which are moving. have you ever reached a point in your life where things are going on okay, you go to work, like for me, I have a full schedule with my clients, with my trainings and all that, but you're still not happy? Then there are times when mentally you have those racing thoughts, those self-doubt, those difficulty concentrating, there is the constant worry. Then physically you are fatigued. You just like I remember when we were starting, there's something Rose mentioned. When you're high functioning, you have a lot of work, you can't work home, you instead of resting over the weekend, you're still doing the work. Coming Monday, you're still very exhausted. Instead of now you going back to work on Monday very refreshed, you're going to work on Monday even more exhausted because you didn't get enough sleep and you have to perform. Then there is the headache and the appetite changes. There is the behavioral where you find you're overworking or you also find you're withdrawing. Now, withdrawing can stem in a very awkward manner. It's not like you're withdrawing from activities that you're supposed to do. You don't withdraw from work, but you're withdrawing from your recovery plan. You're withdrawing from your self-care routine. You're withdrawing from, if you're a person like me who loves reading, from reading those books which enrich you. When you find you're binge eating, you're finding solace with food, then busyness to avoid feelings. Have you ever found someone or met someone in your life who, yes, you know they are hurt, but they will pretend as if nothing has happened? Yes, you're feeling offended, but you pretend you're so busy to notice, to recognize how you're feeling. You end up suppressing your feelings. Now, what is the cost of wearing this mask? When depression remains hidden, it can lead to burnout, relationship breakdown, reduced productivity, because if you find yourself you're having all these symptoms where you're not your brain has not rested, of course you will have burnout. And when you have burnout, where will you get time to prioritize another person? That's where now you find a partner is trying to tell you something, but your mind is so far away. Then it brings misunderstanding. Then there is reduced productivity. There is chronic stress. If you've watched what I was talking about, I think is the yesterday, yes, on stress. It's okay to be stressed, but being stressed for a long time, no. There is no crown in being stressed. Then there is the anxiety. You just find yourself, you're just nervous. Things have to happen this way. And if they don't, you feel like your mind is going crazy. Then there are people who now go to another level of substance abuse and addictions of all kinds. Then there is the emotional numbness, because you ignore your emotions for so long that you cannot feel anything. A client was telling me something interesting. It's long since they smiled or cried. Then there is also the suicidal thoughts. So healing begins when you stop doing what? You stop pretending. Now, why are successful people more vulnerable to this kind of depression? Because these successful people have very high standards for themselves and for the people around them. And as I was telling Susan, if you have high standards for your circle around you, because you cannot control this other person, you will end up being what? You will end up being disappointed. Then there is that strong sense of responsibility. I believe all of us here, we don't need to be reminded this is what you need to do. So the culture expects you you expect yourself to carry yourself in a certain manner. And there comes also the fear of failure and what failure means. And sometimes I tell someone, allow yourself just to fail even once so that you can learn how failure feels to you. There's the fear of disappointing other people because you have strong high standards and a high sense of responsibility. How then disappointing people cannot come to your mind. Then lastly, there's difficulty resting. Achievements becomes an identity for you. Your worth becomes limited to your performance. When you're not performing, you don't feel like I'm a human being. And that takes me back to this question I started with. If nobody expected anything from you today, how would you truly feel? When was the last time I genuinely felt rested? Am I surviving or thriving? And what is that emotion that I've been hiding? As you contemplate on that questions, allow us to proceed because I'll go back to those questions. Now, for those people who struggle with perfectionism, what does perfectionism say? I must never fail. But what does healthy thinking say? It says I can learn even when I fail. Now, perfectionism makes you overwork and have a lot of burnout and a lot of shame attached to it when you don't reach that 100% mark. And most of the times, people don't reach that 100% because we are not robots. And we are humans with emotions, and emotions can err. So if you tell yourself, I need this to be 100%. For example, you, Susan, with your teachers there, you're in that staff meeting and you're telling them, oh, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you go back thinking they have even understand you, what you are speaking about, only to realize you are talking to yourself in the meeting. Then the report comes out, you feel so ashamed. What is this that these people have done? You start now the self-blame, the feeling I'm never good enough. But as I have been emphasizing on this series, 60% is still an achievement. 40% is still an achievement. All that matters is what? Is progress. Now, many people learned early that emotions were unsafe. Most of us grew up, if you grew up with parents like mine, they will tell you, stop crying. You need to be strong. Don't be dramatic. You are not the only child who can be hurt. Other children can be. Or other people have bigger problems. I remember a certain incidents where we didn't want what our mother had cooked that day, and she took us to the orphanage to see how other people have it worse. So expressing those emotions as an adult, you now suppress your emotions because you have never given a ground to process them. Most of unhealed trauma often becomes what? Hidden depression. Now, before I proceed any further, allow me ask this question. What do you find yourself struggling with when it comes to your emotions? What do you find yourself struggling with when it comes to? Yes? Yes, Munira, you can start us off.
So what do I find?
Yes, when it comes to your emotions, what part do you find yourself struggling with? Is it suppressing? Is it expressing? Is it being vulnerable? Is it the constant reminder of you have to be strong?
Being vulnerable.
Being vulnerable. Okay, thank you, Munira. Lillian?
Me too, being vulnerable.
Okay. Nanis?
And let me just get it clearly. Is it something that maybe, for example, am I struggling with suppressing or being vulnerable?
You can be struggling with suppressing your emotion. You can be struggling with being vulnerable. You can be struggling with each time something happens, you find you're invalidating your feelings. Other people have bigger problems. Other people, something like that. It doesn't have to be limited to what I've mentioned, but something you feel when it comes to your emotions.
I think, as for me, I'm usually very careful on where I am, who am I with, before expressing my emotions. I weigh so many options. There are places I would be vulnerable and, just say as it is, being very honest with myself. But there are other places, especially where I don't feel it's a safe space, I suppress them until the right time comes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for you, it depends with the conditions. You
Yes.
into a room, you've already looked at how people are looking at you. If your brain tells you it's a threat, nannies will choose to keep quiet for the whole time. Okay?
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, Rose, tell us something.
For me, what is the expression, the question? For me, I have been raised to express, and so that is what I have been doing for a very long time. But you see, being raised to express doesn't necessarily mean you are raised to express it in the proper way. So what I have over time come to struggle with, when you're a child, everyone can excuse you. It's okay, just express your emotions, joy, anger, happiness, everything. However, what I think struggle with now as an adult is I know I can't get away with the way I express the emotions, and so if I could be able to have a proper way to express now that that's all I know. Suppressing for me doesn't really help me much. In fact, I get a headache, I get more anxiety. I feel physically sick even though I know it's because I'm stressed from suppressing the emotion. So for me, it's the expression of it, but in a more palatable, stroke appropriate way. Then now, because now I'm more aware of how I've been expressing that is skewed, say unhealthy or ineffective, then now I have to struggle with the guilt, the shame, and the repercussions of perhaps the expression of that emotion.
Okay. There's something that I always say when I'm training clients on emotional intelligence. When you're expressing something, when you express something without love and empathy, it ends up being not palatable to other people's mouths and minds. So always ask yourself, am I kind enough and am I empathetic enough? So Rose, there are two things to expressing anything. There is the truth part and there is the love part. If you say something without the truth, it becomes so vague. But if you say something without the love part of it, it becomes so unkind. So each time you feel I might not be so palatable in somebody else's mind, ask yourself, am I saying the truth? And am I saying this truth in a loving way? I think I've responded to that. You can Answer me if that will do for you, Rose.
Actually, don't struggle with the truth. Again, because of the way we've been raised, we know the truth sets people free, and you have to express it either way. The lying, fine, yes, comes, but you have to do the truth. The morals, the belief system already there. The schema is there for the belief system, the moral, what is good, what is right, what is wrong. However, I think it's in the manner of the delivery that I need more of the work. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and in the manner of delivery, I don't know if I'll I'll send you something, because it's something I read in a book called The Mountain Within. Now, The Mountain Within, I met that lady. She taught me a very important principle. In as much as you're saying it was in the part of criticism, when she explains about the positive criticism and the negative criticism, and what she taught me is, you see, for it to be criticism that is acceptable to someone else, and you see, for sure, truth hurts. But now, if you say that truth in a kind manner, in a loving manner, yes, this person will be hurt, but they, at the back of their mind, they will go back and they will do what? They will ask themselves, what was she really talking about? And I think the best principle you can use, Rose, is each time you feel you're going to express yourself, ask yourself, if I was receiving this kind of information, how would I be interpreting it? That allows you to be empathetic enough. Yes, thank you. Now, Patrick, tell us something when it comes to emotions. Yes, Patrick?
I usually struggle with expressing my emotions.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of repression of what I'm feeling. Suppression, sorry. And I think I hear from those around me that I struggle a lot letting people in.
You put walls.
I put walls, thinking that I'm shielding them from myself and what I'm going through, when in reality, I am pushing them away. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I add here something?
Yes, Munira.
Yeah, it's not, Patrick is not alone. It's all men. Yeah, men are always wearing masks because society, because society expects them to be the strong, the macho image they should have, and they cannot be vulnerable or weak. So I think they have been culturally sort of trained not to express their emotions. So that's why there's a lot of hue and cry these days about men expressing their emotions right from childhood, so that when they become adults, they are able to express it normally like women. Women are very expressive. They will just talk, and they'll express all their emotions, whereas men are a bit silent. They don't express. So it's not, the problem is not alone with Patrick, it's with all men.
Okay. Yeah, I see a part where it says he put walls and suppress feelings, and people often may feel you're pushing them away. Patrick, let me say this. With emotions, there is something called evidence to support it and evidence against it. You can be vulnerable with someone, and the relationship goes on so well. And you can also be vulnerable with someone else, and you feel you have to put your mask on. So I would urge you with this, take some time to think about, because not all people you should be vulnerable with, but ask yourself, what company should I be associating myself with that allows me to be authentic, that allows you to just be your real self? Because when the mask is not on, you just enjoy being yourself. Yeah, that is just my takeaway for you. And let's
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Susan.
Yeah, can I add, you become your authentic self. When you're not wearing your mask, you become your authentic self.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Munira. Yes.
Thank you, Munira.
Susan, tell us something when it comes to your emotions.
Yeah, I think I got a brother in Patrick that I really suppress my emotions. Can you imagine the way it can be now? This is the lady for suppressing emotions. So it becomes difficult to really be self, yeah? Because as I do this, I tend to find myself being alone, trying to reach people, and you realize it's like they are not with you. So at the end of it all, it becomes a challenge that you just feel lonely. You are alone, and then there's responsibilities that require that authority has to be there. And you see, with authority again, it pushes further. Now the closeness of the other people with you. So at the end of it all, you end up being kind of lonely alone.
Okay, you kind of feel isolated.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Susan, for that. Jotham, tell us something. When it comes to your emotions, what do you struggle
with? Being a public figure, sometimes I struggle to show people that I also sustain injuries, or sometimes I find I'm strained. Like early this year, I found somebody coming with the police to arrest me at my home for doing repair of my home. You get that? so I actually got traumatized. So okay, we were arrested. I was arrested. We have gone to police. Then, as we are in the van or the Land Cruiser, so the police are asking, why did we have to drive all the way to come here? Because whatever we have been told at the police station and whatever we have found out going on is totally different things. Yeah. So, but now I had to be the strong me, so that other people, because now other people were actually frightened. See, now, if this is happening this way, then you are finished. So I said, no, let's go, because they have been arrested, no problem. We went to police, and then after interaction, police said there's nothing that we cannot even allow you to sleep in, even a single night. Yeah, so sometimes we have to hide, and I imagine the stronger me, so I can't allow other people to see, yes, that I can also be put in a corner.
That you can also be vulnerable.
Yes.
Yes, allow me proceed, guys. Now, how then does this high functioning depression?
Can I say something? When people are lonely, when they are not able to express themselves, they are lonely. Number one. The other thing is they burn out. They're emotionally exhausted. They are not able, because they are not able to express themselves, they just burn out within themselves. So these are the two things I can think of. There are many more consequences of not expressing themselves.
Because
poor quality of life or whatever. There's so many reasons, but it's important to express themselves. I think you have to get into the habit of expressing yourself on a daily basis. It's starting with I feel. I sentences, use of I sentences.
Okay. Thank you, Munira, for that. I believe what Munira is trying to point to is human beings crave connection. Human beings are social beings. So when there's disconnection, you're not yourself. Now, let's proceed to how does this then depression show itself in work? You find you work long hours. There's declining motivation. There's loss of creativity. There's increased mistakes. There's feeling like an imposter. And then there's the constant exhaustion. You see, most of the times, if you're not your authentic self, you will not give your best. And that's how high-functioning depression affects our work. Now, when it comes to relationship, it pushes people away. Others feel lonely even in relationships. Others avoid being vulnerable. Others fear burdening loved ones. You find, let me just watch and nijifanyie. Let me do it for myself. I don't want to burden these other people. I don't want to trouble them and so on. Then others struggle to communicate emotions. So, as I was saying, humans crave connection. So, for example, with you, Susan, when you find you are isolating, you need to start connecting. Connect to people, I would say, who allow you to be your authentic self. Not people who you feel you have to put mask on. No. Because I believe with emotions and with feelings and with thoughts, as I say, there is always an evidence for it and against it. So I believe in each and every one of us, there are people in our lives who allow us to be authentic, to be real, to put the mask off. So build those connections with those people and not what? And not isolation. So when we talk about the high functioning depression, there is that inner dialogue that you keep yourself. I'm not enough. I'm failing. I should be stronger. I cannot let anyone know. I have to keep going. Now, my people, what is that inner dialogue that you've been having in your mind for the longest time? Let me start with Lillian has been silent. Lillian?
The inner thoughts. Yes. My inner thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah, some things because I don't want to be vulnerable. Then I tell myself I can't let anyone.
Lillian is because you don't want to be vulnerable. Okay. Nanis? Nanis?
Okay, I think for me, other times when I feel I don't want to talk to anyone, I just get a piece of paper and I write exactly what I am feeling. I write pages. I write and I'm very, very honest. Like, this is how I am feeling. I feel that this and this is not working for me. I feel like crying. I'm not crying, but I write, I feel like crying. And after all that, then I usually like put and say, I am done. And God, I have told you, I am very honest. Please help me. And I think that has also been helping me a lot, especially when I'm not able to reach out. I realize I'm also somehow an introvert, where I don't have like many people that I can be truly authentic and be very honest with my feelings or even the thoughts that cross my mind. So writing down, like journaling exactly what I'm feeling, and just I surrender and I feel so good, by the way. Like if it was a burden, I feel it's lifted after putting it down.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes. Rose, tell us something.
I think what I'm most afraid of, I used to journal before. I think I mentioned this on the first class we had. Then, again, if you remember from that first class, I mentioned how I had taken a small break to focus on family, raising children, then I resumed work.
Yes.
Which now reduced my ability to be able to journal, and I would be able to journal both the raw emotions and then compare it. Okay, these are the raw emotions I'm having. I wish to have these emotions, and okay, just journaling in general. But now in the current state I currently find myself in, because there's so many moving things around me, I struggle with writing the raw emotions and compare, because I feel like when I do go back to
bado namufuatilia.
just even reading, they keep bumping to me with my books and they're reading and they're thinking, why did you so patient or something like this? I think for me, it's now getting to be
Sawa, wacha anakuja, bado alikuwa kazi
in
Lurambi,
fact,
ndio ameniambia
from
natoka
all
huko
our
alafu
classes that we've
akuje
been
kabla
having, I
enda kwa
realized
nyumba.
I have, because I've been away or I've
So,
put journaling aside,
sawa.
I feel like I struggle a lot with the overthinking, rumination, and the full cycle of, although now I'm trying to go back, yes, to, of course, to the classes, be more intentional and have more effective ways of perhaps expression of this emotion. I think now is just to be honest with them and not be afraid that we may have big emotions, some say negative, some say positive. However, all emotions are valid. However, of course, the expression of it, as you well put it earlier, is what matters. So I'm just trying to harmonize on that together.
Okay. Now, what is your inner dialogue? What does your mind keeps telling you, Rose?
But I'm afraid of getting a diagnosis. Everything happening around, I don't want to go to someone and they tell me, okay, we now have to give you a diagnosis and you have to be on treatment, both pharmacologically with medication and non-pharmacologically with therapy. That I don't know how I would take that news, but that is what constantly runs through my mind. So even as I was registering for these classes, I really kept on holding back, thinking, I know Carol by the end of this class, she may have a diagnosis for me, but I don't Carol to tell me about that diagnosis. No, just keep it to you. We both know. But yeah, anyway, now where I am now, I think it's to embrace it because it's a season, but then now how to navigate it, of course, through the classes.
Okay, thank you, Rose, for being vulnerable with us. Yes.
Can I say?
Yes, Munira.
You know, this journaling has come. I mean, we've become aware of journaling now, but I've been doing it for last 45 years. Because when I came to this country, I come from India, Mumbai, and there was nobody, you don't know people, how they are. So I started journaling my thoughts, my feelings, and it really helps because it gives you a different perspective at the end of all that exercise that you've done. Yeah, it changes your whole perspective on things. And you feel much better, you feel lighter, you feel more in control of your emotions. Because you vented it out. You see, once you vented, you're really, there's so much of anger, people are not behaving the way you want them to behave. And, so there's a lot of suppressed anger. Everything comes out and you feel so much better after that. And you've talked to somebody. By writing means you have talked to somebody. Although you have not physically talked to anybody, but you've talked. And then you can even burn it or throw it or whatever. So it's one way of releasing the pent-up emotions. And I've been doing it for 45 years, really. So that has really helped.
Thank you.
I always feel I have to keep going. The inner dialogue is, even though things are bad and things are not according to expectations, I always feel I have to keep going. That kind of courage I have.
Okay, thank you, Munira, for sharing us your experience. She has been journaling for 45 years. Me, I will say 10, and I do it daily. And of course, that's why I always encourage all my clients to have a journal. They know that. So, and I told you in my first session, you should always have what? Have a journal. Yes, let's go to Patrick. Tell us, when it comes to the inner dialogue, what speaks to you?
I think the battle that I always find myself in for a very long time is I can say finding some form of balance. Because the older I get, the more hats I wear. That's how I feel, because you're a husband, you're a father, you have a career that you need to try and excel in, especially when you're a bit younger in it. You have that pressure to do better. You're not trying to compete with other people, you're more or less competing with yourself. But you're trying to improve yourself, but it's always in conflict with the other facets of your life that you're involved in. Like, if you focus too much on your career, you fail to be a present husband, you fail to be a present father, a present son to your elderly parents. So you keep asking yourself a lot of questions like, is what I'm doing enough? Am I giving everyone my all? And is my all even worth anything to them? Am I going to succeed in the venture that I set in? Am I making the right decisions? So for me, that's the dialogue I'm always having on a daily basis, just thinking, am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? And sometimes it can get very frustrating. It can put you in a very dark place, especially when you don't fulfill, or when you don't, like, for instance, I really want to help. My son is in class 1. So I really want to help him excel. Then I tell myself, he's in class 1. He has his whole life ahead of him to think about it. But there's that internal pressure that is telling you, you want him to not make the same mistakes you made in class 1. And you see that internal pressure is constantly giving you all sorts of emotions to try and push someone who is not on the same timeline as you to do the things that you think are for them. And I think in reality, you should allow them to run their race, just like you've been allowed to run yours.
Sorry.
So for me, in short, that balance is what I suffer. There's the dialogue that I'm constantly trying to have with myself. How can I find balance?
Okay. Thank you, Patrick, for you've really said am I enough? Am I really doing what I am supposed to do? Let me say this. Sometimes we find ourselves focused on what we should do, on what we should achieve, on how we should become, and we stop focusing on the present moment. Like the situation you've given, your son is in class 1 and you're wondering, I have to protect him against his mistakes. I would say rather, for a class 1, what they need is you to mold them, not you to be focused in their performance. No, it's you to mold them in a character that you will be proud of. Now, when I say that is, simply put, your presence matters more as a parent than your performance. I don't know if I've responded to that situation, that specific situation.
Yes, you have.
Yes, with children, your presence. This is a study was conducted. You know, I love children, and in my church I do a lot of training for children. And with children, what they need, if you ask them, I even remember when I was staying with my uncle, I asked the boys, what would you want? Your daddy to take you and buy you some stuff, or would you want your daddy to go and play with you? You can know the response. They just wanted the daddy to play with them. Now,
Yes, mtu
what these parents, what these children need, because let me give a very sad situation of a girl who was suicidal and in her teenage, and the parents were called to school, come, your daughter is suicidal. When I asked her, she told me, my parents don't spend time with me anymore. So that will tell you, those children, those people in your life, your spouse, really, what do they need? Your presence matters more than your performance. That is what they really need. Are you really enough? To what measure are you measuring this enoughness? That would be my question. What are you comparing this enoughness to? If it's to your former self, I believe you have room for improvement, because I always say 60% is still an achievement. There's always room for improvement. What rather I would say is, each morning, ask yourself, what areas do I need to be intentional in? Just that. What areas do I need to be intentional in today? I need to be intentional with my children. I need to be intentional with my work. I need to be intentional with my spouse. I need to be intentional with this. Then that will clear out all the clutter in your life. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, Anne, as you can see, what we've projected, Karibu, you've joined us just now as we were continuing. What inner dialogue do you usually have?
Okay, good evening, and thank you so much. I'm trying to catch up, so maybe I can say in terms of depending on the environment I am in, when I am in an environment that I'm not very conversant with, like the kinds of people around me, and especially people who, there's some places I feel like they're not very, they're not familiar, like in terms of even the topics or the discussions, whether it's politics or current affairs. There's some things that I feel like sometimes are completely on the extreme of me. Now, those are the ones that I tend to feel like now, I tend to now focus on the public image. How do I match up this conversation, or how do I match up this kind of dressing or this kind of outlook? So at that particular point, I start comparing myself with what I can see in my environment or the conversations that are going on, and I can tend to struggle inwardly to wonder if I'm really, really matching up, with the environment. Yeah.
Okay, matching up with the environment. Okay, Jotham, tell us something. What is that inner dialogue?
So, okay, my inner dialogue, because most of the instances I do talk about Lean Six Sigma, talk about quality, I'll talk about service delivery. So in that case, every time, with every activity, I'll be looking at what are the faults. If I've addressed a group of people, then as I sit down and start imagining what have I said. Was the choice of words appropriate? Was it not appropriate? If I'm going to address, for instance, I'm thinking about the next group I'm going to address, I'll be focusing on how am I going, which words, which is the group I'm going to talk, how am I going to talk to them? So you find that every time and again, I'll be looking at what are the faults, what are the quality issues, what are the areas that need rectification.
Okay, thank you, Jotham. Yes. Susan, tell us, what inner dialogue do you usually have in your mind? Yes, Susan? Susan, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, my inner dialogues normally, okay, let me begin by saying this, that personally I'm a quiet person. I don't talk much. And I do a lot of observation around where I am, the people I am with. I'm not this type of person that when I meet somebody, I just become talkative suddenly. I just have to observe for a long time. By the time I'm really talking to you, I shall have trust with you. So with that kind of character in me, I tend to really struggle not to tell people, not to tell people about myself or to tell people. So I just end up saying I should not tell people. So I end up having my own issues. It is with me. I may not tell anybody, and at the end of it is me.
I can't let anyone know that I'm struggling with this. I have to keep it to myself. At the end of the day, you end up isolating. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, now allow me, people, to proceed. I'll just share back the screen. Here we are. Now, with all these, we still have to develop what? Practical strategies where we can heal, where we can thrive. Let me start with this by saying I've noticed a change for the past 1 month and a half. I've been exercising daily, and I've noticed a change in my productivity in general. So when I say these are practical strategies, there are things that I do that give me what? They help me personally. It's not something that is so far-fetched. Yes, I give myself like 30 minutes of exercise daily. I make sure I sleep on time. And if I sleep late, I'll make sure I sleep for those 8 hours. Then, of course, eating healthy. There's the part of prayer and meditation, because I believe there is a part of God for our lives. And then we cannot emphasize enough the importance of journaling. If you don't have a journal, please get one. If you're scared people will read your journal, get one with a padlock. They are there. You just have to know the code for unlocking that journal yourself, or set the code for yourself. If that's still a problem, you can look for a software. But you have to allow yourself to process what? Your emotions. And every day ask yourself, what are the things that I'm grateful for? Let me say this today we were having a conversation and someone was telling me in business there are moments of high and moments of low. But what they have learned to appreciate is having good health. Each time you have good health, you learn to appreciate, because you could be working so hard and still spend all the money on an hospital bill. So what are the things that you're so grateful for? Build healthy relationships. I know we've not talked about relationships, we'll get there, but also something that is non-negotiable is your recovery time, which is rest. Everyone should have what? A recovery time. So what does self-compassion means? Instead of asking what's wrong with me, ask what happened to me. Instead of I am weak, say I'm human. Because all in all, we are all humans, we make mistakes. Instead of saying I'm going to make mistake, or I may not get the 100% mark, say I will do my best. I'll give it my best. Now, before we finish today, rate yourself in the range of 1 to 10. How is your mood today? Let me start with Nanis. How is your mood today?
I'm just happy.
Mm-hmm. In the range of 1 to 10?
Range 1 to 10, I would say today I am at 8.
8. How is your energy today?
Energy levels, I would say also 8.
Sleep?
Sleep, I would say 9.
9. Hope?
Hope, I'll say 9.
Joy?
8.5.
Purpose?
9.
Relationship?
Relationships, I would say 7.
7. Stress?
I would say 1.
1. Now that question is for you to ask yourself, what area needs the most attention? Next person. Today I said we carry our journals, okay? Let me go to Munira. Munira, how is your mood today?
Okay. My mood, 8.
8. Mm-hmm. How is your energy today?
8.
How is your sleep today?
9.
Hope?
10.
Joy?
10.
Purpose?
9.
Relationship?
8.
Stress?
Or maybe 10. Let's say 10. I met so many good people and I had a good day. So the relationships were good. 10, not 7 or
How
8.
is your stress levels today?
They were also 10. It was really good. I had a good day today.
Okay. Let me go to Rose. How is your mood today, Rose?
happy, so that's say 9. Energy also say 8.5. Sleep, we need to work on it, so that's a 6.
Yes.
Hope, say 8.5. Joy, 8. Purpose, it's a journey, so 7. Same as relationships. Stress is a strong 7. Yes.
Okay. Lillian, you are next.
Okay.
How is your mood today, Lillian?
7.
Energy?
7.
Sleep?
Sleep 8.
Hope?
Hope 8.
Joy?
Joy 9.
Purpose?
7.
Relationship?
5.
5. Stress?
4.
Okay. You remember we have a question behind there. So the areas you notice they are low, those are the areas that need most attention. Yes. Let's go to Patrick.
Yes.
How is your mood today, Patrick?
My mood is I would say a 9.
How is your energy levels today?
My energy levels are pretty low. Maybe a 3.
3. How is your sleep going on?
Even that is pretty low. Maybe a 4.
4.
Around 4.
Hope?
Hope is high. So around 10.
Joy?
Joy today, considering it's my birthday, so still a 10.
Oh wow! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
We'll sing. We must sing for Patrick. Happy birthday!
Yeah.
And you made time to come. Yes, I can see now how important this is to you. Okay. Yes, purpose?
My purpose is a 9. That I can. It's quite high.
Relationships?
Some good. Today some good, some bad. So maybe an 7.5.
7.5. Stress?
Stress, I'd put it at a 5.
Okay, that is Patrick for us. With Susan, tell us, how is your mood today?
Yeah, my mood today, I had 2 types of moods. In the morning it was okay, but as the day drifted, mood went down. So in the morning it was high, 8, and then later it went down to Toko 4.
Muko 4 sahi. Tutafika mahali tueleze kwa nini, utueleze. By the way, kwa nini mood ili drift?
It drift, I had a burial for a friend.
Okay.
In the morning, waking up, things were okay, and then I go for a burial, I find the mood that bad. Again, it pulls you down.
Oh, so sorry about that. Yeah. Send our condolences to your friend. Yeah, those are allowed life. I would say what life. I don't like talking about grief. Anyway, just send our condolences, and may God cover you with a warm blanket as you people are mourning and in this tough period. Yes.
Thank you.
How is your energy level, Susan?
G7.
7. Sleep?
Sleep 8.
Hope?
Hope 8.
Joy?
Joy down 4.
Purpose?
Papa 7.
Relationship?
Relationship 7.
And
then
stress?
Stress was the lowest. 3.
Okay. Yes. Anne, how is your mood today?
I feel relieved. Before it was, as the day began, I felt like it was quite not good, but as the day progressed, I can say that at 8.
Energy levels?
8.
Sleep?
4.
Sleep for Anne. You are not sleeping, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
We have noticed. How is your hope?
At 8.
Joy?
8.
Purpose?
8.
Relationships?
5.
5. Stress?
2.
2. After I'm done with this, I'll give everybody their score so that you know which areas to work on. Okay? Okay, so who is left? Jotham, tell us, how is your mood today?
The mood has been great for the day. I'll rate myself 9.5. Energy level is very high. I achieved what I was to do today. I've done partly up to tomorrow. So energy level is high. I have no problem with the sleep. So I'll give myself 9.
Energy levels is high. How many?
It's high, 9.
9?
9. Sleep is 9. Hope is alive, 10. Joy, as usual, at 10. My purpose, I'm at 9. So relationships with self, I'm at 10.
With others?
With others, I might have enemies that I don't know. But now I can only say what I can control. So others might be seeing me as selfish, but now I can't control their feeling. But with myself, it's at 10.
Okay.
A stress level, I have none. So I stress myself at 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now with areas that needs attention. Let me start with Nannies. Nannies,
yes, please.
Relationships.
Yeah, actually, I totally agree. But maybe I would like to correct something. I don't like the stress levels. If I say like 8, that means the stress levels are high. So that's why I said 1.
Yeah, I got you. I
yes,
got you. There could be that confusion, and I understood what everybody is thinking about. So
okay, thank you.
You see, sometimes I can read the mood of someone by how they're speaking. You're not looking stressed, but you need to work on your relationships.
Totally agree.
And if I may but ask a question, because today is a depression checkup session, what is the biggest challenge that you've encountered when it comes to relationships?
I would say like today, I was somehow caught off guard. And I had to take the position of the lead person in the camp.
Okay.
So, because my supervisors had to leave for an emergency meeting, and trying to organize everybody when I was not really prepared, it was hectic for me. And as I mentioned earlier, my personality, where I don't.
I remember, gosh, I have a very good memory, by the way.
So it was like, trying to forcing myself. So it's not just to create and ensure that things are working out everywhere, having even visitors, organizing for their food, having to talk, And some people were not that responsive. So that's why I'm saying today my relationship was not at its best. And I was forced to do things I was a bit uncomfortable to do them.
And the beauty is you are forced to do things that are a bit uncomfortable.
Yes.
Today you've done a great thing, going out of your comfort zone. Thank you. Now, Munira said the mood is 8, energy is 8. Munira, what would you want to do so that your mood and energy gets at 10?
It's a difficult question. Maybe I need to do more exercise to raise my mood and energy both.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. At least now you know what you need to do.
I'm a bit moody. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't do. So I need to be consistent in exercising.
You are doing them depending on the mood.
No, I do regularly half an hour walk, but my yoga, it's not consistent. Walk I have to do every day half an hour.
Yeah, but you see now the interesting thing is you've noticed the problem is lack of consistency. So you go now, work on the
consistency,
Yes, thank you, Munira. Yes, Rose. Now, I noticed a 7 at purpose, relationships, and tell us more. What is that one thing? Let me ask, when it comes to purpose, that you're finding a challenge?
That's a very good question. I'm at a place in life where I am trying to understand the meaning of life. And people, depending on from, of course, that kind of upbringing, their background, what schemas they already have. You encounter many experiences, and people will either add to what you already know or deduct, or just whatever the influence that there is. So while I know when it comes to mental health, we derive our meaning of life from a higher being, whatever that may be for you, depending on the religion and, of course, spirituality aspect of it. I have been asking a lot of difficult existential questions, which, of course, no one can be able to answer me. And then now, you see, when you meet people who answer it, say, like now, for instance, myself, my religion is Christianity. When you do meet people who are scientists and they lean towards either the Big Bang Theory or whatever other belief system they may have, again, I'm left with more questions than answers. I remember a professor of mine in class, truly, God bless her heart. I remember her saying you should never feel afraid or refrain yourself from asking the question, why? So, but now, with Rose, sometimes the whys are too many. There's a why, Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3. So yes, not that I struggle myself with understanding what life is, what there is as purpose. I think at this point in time, I have more or less understood what it is I'm supposed to be doing with my life and everything that pertains existence. However, the difficult questions of when now someone challenges what you have been believing in all this time, like now the discussion between if you say before Christ, after Christ, this period of time, how do you answer the question that dinosaurs have existed, 6 million years ago? The other day, there was I like watching documentaries, so I was watching about the largest snakes we've had in history, and I learned about the Titan boa, and that it existed 6 million and 5 years later after the dinosaurs, and I'm thinking, okay, so now before Christ, are you seeing the kind of questions I sometimes have? So not that I struggle with understanding, it's just that there's a lot to wrap your head around. But anyway, it's something that I have to get to, I think, embrace and allow others to express themselves much as I do. And
Yes,
I guess we just get to appreciate
huyu
the meaning
jamaa
of life
kutoka kazi.
and more in that, how does it contribute to our understanding of the purpose of life? So that is where I am with that.
Okay.
I don't know whether I've answered your question.
You have, and it's interesting. I would tell you something. You see, there was a time I had such questions in my mind, and a wise person told me, wait until you go to heaven, you'll ask God that. The next thing they told me, there are things that are without your control. Yes, it's okay to ask the why question. It's okay to wonder about so many things in life, but it's okay also to ask God to give you a meaning. I don't know if I've answered your question, but I will leave it at that.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much for that, because now I have found more peace in the spirituality, the religion aspect of it, especially given some of the many aspects that have been up and coming around, especially like Christianity here in Kenya. Now that I'm trying to lean away from, I'm leaning towards the spirituality. So yes, we will work on that purpose, and God willing, it shall be attained.
Okay, thank you, Rose. Now, Lillian, I noticed a 7 in mood and energy and purpose. What do you think is that one thing that you're struggling with?
Yeah, today I had a failed meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, after waiting for 2 hours, the meeting was called off. That somehow affected my mood and my energy.
Oh, okay. How when you know the meeting was called?
Pardon?
How did it feel when you noticed the meeting was called off?
Kindly repeat again. I didn't get it.
How did it make you feeling when you noticed the meeting was called off after waiting for 2 hours?
Of course, I felt disappointed because I was looking forward to that meeting.
Okay. Now, I know it's yes, it affected your mood, but sometimes just you saying, I feel just disappointed today. I was looking forward to this meeting, but it never happened, and it's not within my control. So what do? You let it slide and you move on. Okay, Lillian? You've heard?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Patrick. I noticed 3 at energy, 4 at sleep, yes, and 5 at stress. Tell us something. What's one thing that you're struggling with at the moment? Yes, Patrick? As Patrick is getting his answers.
Hello?
Yeah, oh, okay, you're here. Yes, Patrick?
I think I'm overworking.
Overworking is the problem. Okay.
So I've been finding myself getting to bed at 1, 2 a.m. And waking up at 6 to go back to the work environment and continue.
Okay.
So for me, it's the overworking that's causing me to have low energy, lack sleep, and is slowly raising my stress levels.
Can I tell you something interesting?
Yes.
You cannot save the whole world. Telling that to a doctor is the biggest crime I've committed. allow me commit the crime. You cannot save the whole world.
Very true.
Why I'm saying this, I have a friend, let me use this word, who works for KPMG, the audit company. This is a story he allows me to share. And one day he calls me and tells me, Carol, we need to talk. Where can we meet? I know you're in Mombasa Road. Just to give me a location. I'll pay your session. And I'm like, I don't charge friends. So what is it? I'm in the hospital. Why? I'm sick. I've been sick, and I'm being told this is not an issue of it's not a physical problem. What I'm being told, it's a psychological problem. They told me to go get see myself a psychologist or a therapist for that matter, and I asked them why, and then it tells me I've not rested for the last 4 days. We are having this huge client, and I have to do it. The word is I have to. Patrick, if you find yourself having that statement, I have to do it, you can imagine my response. I told him, Mister, go home and sleep. Let's talk tomorrow. And don't call me. I'll call you once you've rested enough. So all I'm saying is you cannot save the whole world. And the whole world problems and sicknesses and problems don't lie on your shoulders. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to have weaknesses, and allow yourself to rest. Just genuinely. By doing what? By just sometimes giving yourself boundaries. Tell your superior, you know, I've not been resting for 3-4 days and it's affecting my productivity. How about I go rest right now? Then we can catch up tomorrow.
I totally hear where you're coming from. And it's something I've tried to do. I just how I would put it is in the environment I find myself working in, if I slow down, it means the person next to me picks up my slack. And the ripple effect of someone else, especially with the shortages that we normally have, the ripple effect of someone else picking up your slack means that it sort of creates a tense environment in the workplace because someone brands you as being either lazy or absconding duty or something. They just give you a negative tag, which kind of in a way forces you back to the same work environment. And I don't know how to get out of that cycle in a respectful way to a colleague. so that there are no hard feelings, so that if they also want to take that break, and if I am at 100% because I've rested and they are at 20 because they have been working or picking up my slack, then I can also do the same for them. Not everyone is as accommodating of.
Yeah, I get to the point you're mentioning, because my husband works in a hospital, so I don't like sharing my personal life. So, but I understand the point you're making, and one thing I've seen them do is have each other's back, but that doesn't work for every institution. Like when you feel, but sometimes, let me say this, Patrick, sometimes it's good to use dark psychology, though it's not something I would recommend for everyone, which is more of manipulation, where you're telling someone, would you rather me collapse while attending to the patient, or give me 5 hours to sleep and come back? I think I've made it more sensible.
That's you. Patrick, have you interacted with something called Theory X and Theory Y? Yeah? Have you heard of Theory X and Theory Y?
Yeah, I think I have.
Patrick?
I've not heard of it.
You have not heard of it. So, it's a theory that management usually use. And sometimes they use to guilt trip you so that you are there. You better off faint at workplace, but you are there.
Yeah.
So in that case, in case you just want to take a nap, a break, we tell you you have joined the Theory X. Theory X, okay, generally Theory X are people who must be followed, must be supervised, they don't have that free will, they cannot send themselves. So in that case, in event you just feel tired and you cannot your energy level is low and you want to take a rest. So they tell you have joined Theory X. Then nobody likes being branded Theory X. Now on the other side, Theory Y, those are people who are who don't require supervision. They just work the free will. They are always there. They don't oppose management. They don't talk negative about management. So sometimes management usually take that advantage because they know they brand you Theory X. So in that case, you feel no, I've been successful. Remember, you have been passing exam all through up to the level where you are. So you wouldn't like to be branded now that you are a failure in adult, yet you have been successful in your all from childhood to youth, you have been successful. So now if anything that will brand you as a failure will make you feel guilty, so in that case you might find yourself, you are there, you are worn up, but you have to turn up. So sometimes it's good you just Yes, Carol, you can continue.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Joshua.
Patrick, I think I've answered your question. Sometimes it's just you using that dark psychology. Because I know in most hospital environment, there are people who slack off and there are people who rest the most because they will be seen, huyu hata usimpe kazi, hatafanya. Or you find that being given lighter task because they are been seen as lazy. But those people who are seen as lazy run the most efficient private practices out there.
Exactly. True.
It's you now to choose whether you want your mental health, your growth, your authentic self to grow, or whether you want yourself to derail. And I've told you, yes, I don't recommend dark psychology, but sometimes you just have to, so that you can hack the system.
I think I'll employ that moving forward.
Yes, let's proceed. Susan.
Patrick, just one line.
Yes.
I want to say, how you see when you place demands on yourself, what does it do to your productivity? Because you see there is a bell-shaped curve that it says when you place a lot of demands on yourself, you stress yourself, then there's a limit you can take, your body can take, your mind can take. Then after a certain level, then the productivity goes down.
Yes.
So you can't function.
Yeah.
So you have to look at that as well, not just... and you know, in cognitive psychology, placing demands on yourself, you know, the must, the should, the ought to, these are all irrational things.
Have to.
Have to, all those are irrational. So you have to look at that. And where is it coming from?
Yes. Thank you, Munira.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I've remained with Susan and Anne and Jotham. Susan.
Yes.
You said you struggle with joy, and we've noticed today you're dealing with grief and loss. So I won't delve so much on you today. Just I will tell you, just take a day at a time. Yeah.
Sure.
Anne, you mentioned you struggle with sleep and relationship. One biggest challenge?
Sleep, I think, is just not having the discipline of sleeping on time. And because I'm a light sleeper, by the time now I get to sleep, it's way into the night. And if there's any movement, very little movement, I get to wake up. So I get very little. I sleep for little hours and not very quality. So yeah, so that, and for relationships, I think creating time is just to create time to be with my friends. Yeah.
It's, I think, being intentional.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Jotham.
Yes.
A challenge you've encountered so far?
Yeah.
Challenge?
Okay. Managing business remotely, that's the challenge I've encountered so far. There are some businesses, yes, I have to need to make phone calls and give direction, and then get a negative feedback. I'm getting feedback from different people. I get it's called broken telephone conversation. So I have to deal. Yes, I've been given a different report. What I've been given by technician is different. What I'm being given by the people on ground is different. So those are now the challenges that I encounter, and that at least I would say they bring in some level for stress and anxiety.
Okay. It's like farming while you're in Nairobi and the farm is in Mombasa.
In home, yes.
Today, someone is telling you need money for fertilizer. Before you sleep, you're being told, no, it's the people who are coming to do this. So, yeah. But I would say just sometimes those are things without your control. You can't do anything. Bearing in mind, you ask yourself, do I need to be there so that everything will function? No. And again, do I have control over these people? No. So you just you cut yourself some slack and just give your best, hoping for the best to come out. So we have this reflection activity. I won't delve so much on it because time is far much spent, but we're doing that session. I just want us to read this case study, then we'll be off for today. James is a 38-year-old manager. He has a successful career, loving family, financial stability, yet every morning he feels exhausted. Smiles at work, cries while driving home, believes everyone would be disappointed if they knew how he felt. Now, what warning signs did you notice with James? And what would you recommend? What protective factors could happen? Now, the biggest warning sign I noticed for myself is because James is afraid of people realizing who he really is. What this high level of depression, high functioning depression does is it gives you mask upon mask, and you find you can't be vulnerable because you're scared of these people knowing your problem. So depression is not always visible. Success doesn't eliminate emotional pain. Asking for help is courage, and healing is possible. Thank you everyone for choosing time to come here today. But always remember, you don't have to earn rest, you don't have to earn love, and you also don't have to earn what? Healing. That was all from today. The rest is just your question to follow up with this week. So that's has been my session on high functioning depression. So that's all. I will just give one person who has any burning issue that they need to tell us before we close up for today. Anyone who wants to say something? Okay. If there is no one, I'll say you've survived every difficult day of your life so far. That is evidence of strength, not because you've suffered silently, but because you're still here. Imagine how much lighter life could become when you no longer have to carry that burden alone. Healing is not about becoming perfect, it's becoming whole. So you taking part in this session today, and I've seen a lot of you becoming vulnerable in these sessions as we proceed. It's lightening your burden. Yes, that's all. So I'll welcome my co-partner Jordan to give us our closing remarks. Then I just send the presentation tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow morning or evening. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Carol, for that insightful. At least it has opened some of us, some of our new thoughts. You know, sometimes as a man, I feel I have to be a man. When I go to church, I have to present as a man. I don't have problems. When I go to training, because I mostly had to conduct trainings, whenever I'm going to present in trainings, I have to present as if I'm very strong. But sometimes I suffer because when I get home, some of the problems, some of the challenges that I had left behind, you find they are still haunting. People having other challenges. Yes, I left the home. Probably there was no single shilling at home, but when I get out, I have to put on that brave mind. You see, as a consultant, I have all things, like everything is catered for. But now I've learned that yes, it's good to appreciate, to acknowledge that we do suffer, and then when we acknowledge, it makes the load lighter. So thank you everybody for participation. Thank you for your contribution. At least each and everyone has a take home. Let's meet next week, God willing.
Bye.